Good morning and welcome to yet another edition of Be My Witness video podcast. Thank you for being with me this morning here. Although I am on vacation, I wanted to give you a word that God's been working in my heart. And I know that as we're reaching the end of the year and going into a new year, a lot of us are probably making some resolutions. And I can tell you that every year as I make resolutions, just like many of you do, it doesn't work unless you have a resolute heart. But I wanted to talk to you this morning, something that's been in my heart as we're going into this new year, because I want you to get the very best that God has for you. And here's my thought. It's out of Acts chapter 27. If you read verses 27, I believe, to verse 35 or so, you'll read the story of Paul heading to Rome. And as he's heading to Rome, he is on a ship. And of course, he is being sent to Caesar. And what's happening here is that he doesn't have the best room on the ship. And in fact, he is a prisoner, just like many others that are on this ship with him. And he's at a place right now where they're headed towards troubled waters. So listen closely if you're making your New Year's resolutions. He's headed towards troubled waters. And in verse 31, Paul says something very important that you and I need to listen to as we head into 2024. He says, unless these men stay on the ship, we will not be saved. And he's talking about the fact that the ship is getting ready to be torn apart and the seas are rough and all this thing. And it's just going really bad for them right now. In fact, they're throwing stuff overboard and they haven't eaten for a long time. And some of them even want to get on some life rafts. And so they want to escape this ship that's going to be torn apart by these rough seas. And so what ends up happening is Paul says, hey, unless everyone stays on the ship, we won't be saved. And that really got to me. That really started me thinking that we need to stay on the ship. And of course, what I'm talking about is stay on course with Jesus Christ. Stay on the ship. See, they wanted to jump off ship because things were going bad. And maybe right now you might find yourself that this year's been really rough and it's like, wow, I don't know, I've been trying to search after God and I've been trying to do things of God, but we find ourselves that we want to jump ship. Stay on the ship. Unless these men stay on the ship, no one will be saved, is what the Bible had said. And so I want to encourage you this morning with that. But also, listen closely here. What happens? They're throwing stuff overboard because there may be too much weight, maybe something, so they're like, let's just throw things overboard. Maybe as you go into the new year, it's time for you to throw some stuff overboard. Maybe it's time to throw out some of those things that are weighing you down. Maybe it's time to throw out those things that are just not good for you, and you know it. So maybe it's time to do that. But it also says that some of the men wanted to get on some lifeboats. They wanted to escape, as if the sea was going to be any calmer for a small lifeboat. That's just ridiculous. But you and I do that also, because what we do is we hang on to things that really aren't going to save us. And again, the whole point is stay on the boat, stay on the ship, stay anchored to Jesus Christ. And then after all that, Paul says something really funny. He says, you know what, these men haven't eaten. Let's go ahead and eat our food. Let's go ahead and eat what we've been starving. Let's go ahead and eat. It's kind of funny in the midst of all of that. But here's what I find that you and I need to do going into 2024. We should stay on the ship. We should throw things overboard that are holding us down. And then he says we should eat. And what I see that speaking to me going into 2024 is we need to be consuming the Word of God, because that is truly what's going to anchor us. So I hope that this encouraged you this morning. I know that, again, I'm on vacation, but God is still stirring in me this stuff. And my wife and kids are upstairs right now, and they're packing stuff. And I just came down to get a dolly, but I felt felt compelled to share this as we're going into 24. Please, please, please stay on the ship, stay on course with Jesus Christ. Throw overboard those things that are holding you down, the sin that weighs you down, makes you stumble, makes you fall. and take time to consume the Word of God, it will truly anchor you in troubled waters, I promise you. God bless you and Happy New Year.